G'day there, folks. Thank you very much for coming along. A warm welcome to you all. This is our quarterly webinar to show what we've been getting up to and to see all the latest enhancements to our ever-evolving product. This quarter has been a very productive one, particularly with our mobile app, and we're very excited to show some things off for you. But firstly, I'd love to get to know you guys. So if you can pop into the chat, which is on the right-hand side of your screen, and just say where you're calling in from, if you're farming, how conditions are, or if you're a real professional. Just say good day in there. And throughout the webinar, at the early stages, a poll will also appear, asking you what features you'd love to see built into that new app sooner than later. And I've got a $5 bet on what I think will be coming as the top result. So I hope I will be proven right by you all today. So we'll just crack into our slides here. So a bit of an agenda first. We'll go through some introductions. Kia ora, Libby. Thank you very much for being here today. She'll be taking us through the new mobile features. Then I'll talk to our new web features and integrations. And then at the end of our session today, we will have a bit of time for some Q&A, and we'll go through those poll results. But if you have any questions at all throughout the presentation, just pop them into that chat, and we'll try to answer them as we go. We've also got Aaron in the background, one of the developers. So if we get any really curly questions, he'll step in and answer them for us. Okay, so who are we? First of all, me, I'm from Southland, from a 5th generation sheep and beef farm. I'm head of sales and marketing for FarmIQ, have been for a couple of years now. And I've done a few bits and bobs all over the show when it comes to farming and agribusiness. But I love being in farm tech. It's an exciting space to be in. Next up, we have Libby. Libby, why don't you say good day to the folks?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Libby, and I'm one of FarmIQ's inbound sales and onboarding specialists. So essentially, I help people get up and running so they can get into using all the great aspects that FarmIQ has to offer. I have a sheep and beef background and I'm originally from Canterbury. However, I am now in the Wairarapa, living on a beautiful sheep and beef hill property here with my partner. I also have experience in dairy, mainly from work during my uni holidays, and as a vet tech at a dairy clinic down in Ashburton, as well as the odd season calf rearing. I then joined FarmIQ 3 years ago now, initially in the support team, and then moved into this current role. But yeah, that's a bit about me. So let's crack into the new and exciting features, I reckon. Cool. So we'll start off with the mobile, but first off, I wanted to say that the FarmIQ team have been extremely busy this season and have pumped out some really cool features on the mobile app and the web, as Russell said. So I'll go over the new mobile features, and I'll try not to get too carried away, as they are pretty exciting. And as Russell mentioned, add any questions into the chat as we go along, and we'll try to get them answered. Cool. So first off here, we've got timesheets. So you now have the ability on the app to not only record your timesheets, but also submit them once your weekly timesheets have been entered, and view your submitted ones. So this encourages staff to enter in their own hours and their own time, all on the mobile. This is also a key aspect for health and safety purposes, so you can keep on top of hours worked and breaks had. Your farm will either be set up to record start-stop times or total hours per day, and this has probably been decided by your timesheet administrator or your manager. The default setting on FarmIQ is to record your total hours, but that can easily be switched over if that's what you want. And it's also super easy to edit your timesheet entries before you submit. However, once you have submitted that week's timesheet, it's final, unless you get rejected, of course. And yeah, you're also able to quickly view your previous and submitted timesheets. So that's really useful if you need to get any information out for any particular reason on what hours you've worked in the past. Cool. So you'll find that timesheet section under the More tab on your app, and you can add in blocks of hours worked for each day. And just something good to note here is when you're adding in your unpaid breaks, the system will work out your total paid hours. So, for example, if I worked from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And I had a 1 hour unpaid break at 12, then I'd add in 8 till 5 or 9 hours in the first row, and then below that I'd add in my paid breaks and then my 1 hour unpaid break, and the system will figure out that I've only worked for 8 hours, and well, that's how much and what I need to be paid for. So yeah, that's pretty cool, but that also leads me on to the next one, which is the diary. So if you had like a roster set up on FarmIQ, you can now see the roster in the diary on the app as or the web, which is super handy. Cool. So the diary. This one's a really exciting one for me, and I know for a lot of farmers. You can now access your farm diary on the FarmIQ mobile app, which is really cool. So you'll be able to see your records entered from the mobile app and any stock or land events recorded from the web, as well as any tasks that are completed or marked as didn't get done, your daily roster, and your diary notes. So this is an online function only, so you won't be able to see the diary records when you're out of service and offline unless you've loaded it up prior. And the reason for this is due to the diaries including quite a lot of stored information, right? Quite a bit of history there. So if the data has to be saved to the app while it's offline, it's likely to slow down the app and take up a lot of space on your phone, and we just don't want the app to do that. So yeah, just explaining why we've done that. However, while online, so you're using your mobile data or your Wi-Fi, you can look back and see events from the past in the diary or any planned events in the future by scrolling or using the date selector. So you've got options. This is essential if you need to look at any on-farm records on the go, all available in the palm of your hand. And the detail here for each record on the diary is a snapshot of the most important information, so that in that event that you can access your information so much faster than ever, just on your mobile, which is awesome. So still on the diary, you can also add a note. So this can be a note for all users to see, so all of your farm staff, or just a private note that only you will see when you are logged into the web or the app. And it's super easy to create those notes for today's date or any date in the past or the future. And you've also got a refresh button on the diary as well. So that's your top right corner refresh little button there. So you can update the diary whenever you need, as it doesn't automatically update, just in order to save you on data. Cool. That's the diary.
That's great. And adding a note to the diary has been a long requested thing for the old app. So it's great to see it built in here. And it makes that diary just so much more, just ease of input of data. Some farmers, especially on the lower packs, just want to have a free text diary note, like they had a notebook in the top pocket. So it's great to see that in there. I know some farms have always wanted this so that staff could just free text anything in, and then the office staff will go in and tidy up any recording after the fact. So it just makes FarmIQ a lot more flexible having that there.
It definitely does. Yeah, for sure. Cool. So are we ready to move on?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Cool, awesome. So animal notes and land notes are the updated names for what we used to call the general animal or general land events, right? So we believe naming them animal and land notes makes way more sense, as this is essentially what it is, a note against stock or against a paddock. So these notes as well as the diary and the notes in the diary, give you flexibility on what you actually want to record in FarmIQ, and much more variety to describe an event that may not be supported in your pack, such as like shearing or crutching, cultivation or crop inspections. And you will also see these notes against a specific mob or in the paddock history. Or you can also search them in the diary on the web, which Russell will go over a little bit later on. So you can also record a stock note on the app by clicking on the mob on the map. So just the same way you'd record any other animal activity, but you now have that option to record that stock note too. And just the same with your land note. Click on the paddock, hit activities, and you have land note there as an option. And just a quick tip here for when you're recording your stock or land notes, if relevant, make sure to add in a category, as this is what your land or animal note will be labelled as when you see it on the diary. And I just wanted to mention here as well that the specific and tailored events, such as your specific animal health treatment event or your chemical or fur event, they're still really important to use, especially if you want to utilise your reports and your product inventory. Just do it that way. Cool.
And fuel top up, Libby.
Yeah, sweet. So now we have also got fuel top-ups on the new app. So this includes recording fueling up of any vehicles and machinery, as well as recording deliveries for the fuel tanks on farm. Excuse me. So the benefit of this can be to track how much fuel is in your fuel tanks, how much fuel your vehicles are using, and your expected fuel on farm. So along with utilising the fuel report and asset register on the web, this also makes it quick and easy to find any info needed to reclaim any tax on fuel if you need to do that. So you've also got flexibility when adding in all your machines, so like your vehicles, your tanks, all on the web, by naming them and adding in a fuel-related details for the asset, and that all flows through into the app when you're doing a top-up, so you'll see all that information there. And then just to fuel up on the app, just hit the more screen again, and then you'll find the fuel up option from the list.
Great. It's also a handy way to keep track of any fuel stolen, even if it's by your own children when they get their driver's licenses. Not speaking from experience myself. And moving on to the shopping list and the to-do list, Libby, and there's some particularly exciting piece of new kit in here that I'll let you explain.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it is very exciting. So I'll quickly explain the shopping list first. So it's a single list that everyone in the team can view, or everyone on FarmIQ can view on your farm, and they can edit it or add to. So the whole team also have access to the to-do list, and it's also an unstructured list where you can use it to record any small jobs that need doing, which you don't want to create a task for, essentially. So yeah, the extra exciting aspect here is that we have an AI capability, which means that you can take a photo of a list that you have already written on paper or in a whiteboard, and the app will automatically convert the items from your written list to a digital list on FarmIQ. So this saves you time from re-entering all the items, and yeah, very cool. But don't worry if it doesn't pick up your messy handwriting word for word, because you can edit it at any time. Yeah, and these lists are super handy if you've got a lot on your plate, and sometimes you can't remember everything. So as soon as you remember it, an item or a job, add it to the list, and then someone can tick it off.
Yeah, I've even been using this for the home shopping for the groceries, and yeah, we see an exciting future for this sort of technology. Like it's so easy to envision just taking photo of batch numbers or a drenched container, and that's sucking all that information and using AI and updating your inventory for you, or just taking a photo of a manual calendar and getting information out and uploading that into FarmIQ. But it's the start of some exciting technology, and this is just a good place to test the waters for it.
Definitely, yeah. And in the app, you'll find that shopping list or to-do list under your More tab as well. Cool.
And moving on to notifications, Libby.
Yeah. So this is a really epic one for that many people have actually been asking for too. And look, it's now been delivered. So yeah, your notifications. So you can now be notified on your phone of any upcoming tasks, recorded incidents, and new hazards. So once set up, you will be sent a push notification to your mobile as soon as someone else has assigned a task to you that has been synced into the system. So you can also set it up to get a notification at 8 a.m. the day before you have any tasks due. So this is ideally just going to save any confusion with what tasks need to be completed on what day, and will save you time. And you don't really have to make all those multiple phone calls or texts or WhatsApp messages that you're currently doing throughout the day. You can all do it on the FarmIQ mobile app. Very cool. So all staff will need to update their notification settings on the FarmIQ app and on their phone settings just to ensure that they receive the relevant notifications. As a lot of the time when you may have originally downloaded the app, you might have said no to receiving such notifications. So yeah, just a good idea to check that out. And I mean, if give us a call if you need any help correcting your notification settings, or just check out the online help, as there are some awesome, easy to follow instructions there to help you.
Great.
Which is cool.
And once you get that all set up, and you'll start to see the notifications pop up, you'll see a bell pop up in the top screen, but we've had a yarn to the developers, and we're working on turning that into a tractor, which is, it's cool, but also it'll make it really easy and clear to see, oh, there's a FarmIQ notification there. What's going on? Over to you again, Libby.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. Exactly. That tractor will be something different rather than the wee bell as we see on the web. But yeah, I just wanted to mention before I hand over to Russell on the website that any activity recorded on the FarmIQ app will need to sync and therefore update to the FarmIQ system. So the app needs to sync, the app needs to be open and connected to the internet. So if you have patchy cell coverage on farm or no reception at all, be sure to open the app in the morning before you head out on farm, just to make sure you get the latest information. And then once you have finished up for the day and you've recorded all your activities while out on farm, open up the app when you have Wi-Fi or good cell data and just check the activity log there, just so you can ensure that all your records have synced and therefore they can be shared with the rest of your team.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Libby. Alrighty, I'll take over now. So we'll move on to our web features and our integrations work. So obviously we've put a lot of effort into the new app to carry on the transition from the classic to the mobile, but we've also been ticking along quite nicely on the web version of FarmIQ. The main one for me that I'm most excited about is the diary. It looks so much better and it requires far less clicks to get the information out that you want. So I encourage you, if you've got your app open or get it open on the computer, and you can have a wee walkthrough of the things we're explaining here. But you'll see that the diaries had a very obvious facelift. It's more color coordinated and it's in line with our app's visual as well. So it just makes navigating your eyes around the screen a lot easier. We've been added these following features here. So adding and viewing notes in the diary. So you can click on an event and then add notes after the fact, even if you're a different staff member. Searching by keyword. So in the past, when you had that search, free text search up the top, it would only pick up words that were in the title for an event. Let's say you typed in drench, it would come up with all the drenchings or the animal health treatments, but not if you couldn't type in switch or high mineral, etc. Now that search will pick up a lot more keywords for you. So you could just click on change your filter to year, your calendar to year, type in death, and it will come up with every event that's got the word death in it. Now from there, we've also improved our exporting function from the diary. So now you can click print and it'll export all of that information as a PDF. So in that same example, you want to show all your deaths as a calendar view. Change your filters in your calendar view to a year, type in death, click export, job done. So quick and easy. You don't need to go through the report center and change all the filters and the timelines, etc. You can do it all from the diary now. We've also made it that if you're looking for just a quick view of the basic information, you can now hover your cursor over an event and it will expand that detail just while you're hovering over it and just give you a little more content or context to that event. So you don't need to click in and click edit to see every piece of detail there. And a request we've had for a wee while is the ability to combine all stock moves in one day into just one event visually. Because if you're in middle of set stocking and you're moving animals all over the show, you might have 15 moves in a day, and it just cluttered the screen up a lot. So we've just tidied it up a lot by putting those mob moves into one concise area. So have a good look around there. Some things have changed. If you've got multiple animals, cattle, sheep, or deer, have a go at clicking those buttons up there as well, and just give us some feedback on what you think of it. So now moving on to our integrations. So we've always integrated with devices via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, but technology is advancing from there to the cloud. So Pari were the first ones. They have cloud integrations. So the way that works is weigh your animals with your Pari gear. That information goes straight off to the cloud with no Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or cables. And now FarmIQ can now get those EID files at the cloud level without any clicking of the buttons. So this has been very beneficial for anyone that's had the problems of Wi-Fi connections and Bluetooth out in the yards. So at the moment with Pari, we can pull through weighing, scannings, and condition scores. Health treatments are something to be worked on in the future. It means that the data's there, it's reliable, it's less time, and you're not relying on staff to do the recording for you. It's just taken care of. Now, if you want to set this up, if you got the True Test gear, just give the support team a call and we'll help you out getting that integration set up. And then not far behind Pari was Gallagher with a very similar system. So Gallagher, you do your recording in Gallagher, saying you're weighing your lambs, that EID file goes up into their cloud, and FarmIQ will get that information straight away without doing anything. So we've gone a couple of steps further with Gallagher, where we have animal health treatments available as well. And we're using AI to get that information out, which is pretty cool. So if you record a health treatment using a Gallagher device, FarmIQ will use AI to suck that information out and create that animal health event in FarmIQ and deduct from your inventory in FarmIQ. But again, just as Libby said with the to-do list and the shopping list, you can edit it and tick it off to make sure everything's all fine to proceed. So this is a big step forward, moving into the AI space and the cloud space as well. It's just the way the technology is going at the moment. We really value our relationship with True Test and Datamars. So we are actively working with them to integrate with them at the cloud level as well. But I'll talk to that a bit later on. So what's coming up next? Libby, why don't you take it away with the mobile roadmap?
Yeah, cool. Thanks. So in January, we are aiming for these exciting new features to be released on the mobile. So we've got recording, selling of your stock and sending stock to your grazing properties. We've got losses and killed on farm, so you can essentially differentiate your on-farm deaths or losses, or if you've killed stock for dog tucker or for your staff. And then next up, there's task enhancements. So that includes editing, deleting tasks, and assigning different users from your mobile app. And then we've got EID sales recording from your file library. So you can grab your tag files from the tag library and use them in the sale event. So this is super beneficial for those who utilize the Gallagher and the Pari cloud integration, because it can all be done on their phone, right? And then following the release of those features all going to plan, up next we aim to get out the ability to drop a pin or use your location on the map for tasks and hazards. So this is another really highly requested one. And also drafting stock into different mobs is coming up. So another biggie that people want. And then add the inventory on the mobile app. So for the likes of your animal health treatments or chemicals, you'll have your inventory on the app.
Fantastic. Thank you, Libby. And looking at that list there, I'm keen to hear if that lines up with what you guys would prefer to see in the mobile sooner than later. So if you haven't done so already, go into that poll and let us know your 2 cents worth there. You can see there with January, with sales, sent to graze, losses and killed on farm in January, and then drafting in early 2025, we're focusing on everything that involves keeping that stock rec up to date, which is very important. But if you think we're not on the right track, let us know. We'll hear you out. Okay, thank you, Libby. And then moving on to the web roadmap. So we've done some work on the FAP Plus side. So we have created a dashboard so that farmers can keep track of all their FAP Plus requirements. So what that looks like is you have your pillars on the left-hand side, say they have environmental, people, etc., like that. And there's a little wheel there. And the more red there is, that's the more things you have to do. And as you tick things off, it goes green. And then it's a place where you log all of your stuff to tick off your FAP Plus. Now, we've built that dashboard. It's ready to go. We're just waiting on NZFAI, who take care of the FAP Plus, to do some minor things on their end, and then it's good to go. Early next year, we'll be doing some work with ANSCO and Silver and Farms around FAP Plus, and we're excited to lean in with it. We've had a lot of farmers asking us, can I use FarmIQ to do my FAP Plus? And you can already, but by building this dashboard, all of your information's in the one spot. We're starting to build, I've got to be careful what I say here. We're starting to work really closely with NZFAI in terms of making that information more seamless to tick off all of your requirements. So they'll be coming up early in 2025. We're going to be working on our FarmIQ to FarmX dairy integration. Currently, we have a bit of an integration between FarmIQ and FarmIQ Red Meat. So keep your stock up to date in FarmIQ. That will go through to your FarmX Red Meat, your pasture walks and other things like that, and reports coming back into FarmIQ from FarmX. We're going to start that work on the dairy side of things as well, so that if you have both subscriptions, you're getting more value out of those 2 subscriptions. And there's a bit of work on the integration front coming up. One of them that's not listed there is with Datamars TrueTest. So we integrate with Gallagher and Pari at the cloud level, as I was saying. We want Datamars and TrueTest there as well. We know that a lot of our farmers love their hardware. Initially, TrueTest came to us, said that's not a direction they were taking their product roadmap, is the ability to integrate outside with other people. at the cloud level, but that's changed, which is fantastic, not just for us, but for farmers and other farm management software providers as well. So we're just waiting to see what TrueTest does, and then we will be integrating with them as soon as possible, when it's possible. But the other two integration works up there, Fonterra and Minder, two big ones that have been in the works for a wee while. So we are starting our integration with Fonterra with milk feed coming through, but we're working closely with them to see how we could advance that in the future to make any shared audits easier, or any kind of information sharing with Fonterra. And the same with Minder. So Minder have historically had the stigma of being hard to get data out of. That was before my time. There's obviously been a change of the guard if that was true, because we've found recently worked with Minder very proactive. So yeah, it's very early days, but just know that we are in discussions with Minder, and we're excited about the prospects of that for our dairy users. Okay, moving on to some questions and answers. So we'll have a look at the chat here and see what we have got.
I think Aaron's been working away in the background answering a few questions in there.
Okay. What were some of them, Libby?
So one of the questions was, on mobile diary, can you filter and or have a present filter like you can on the web version? And then I'll just read out Aaron's answer. So he said, for the release that went out last week, we haven't added the filter. We have a design for the filter, and it will be something that follows in a release in the near future. We are also looking to see if we can make a powerful keyboard search as well, which is really cool. I'll just see if there was anything else there.
Oh, yeah, I've got one thing here.
Oh, yeah.
Can I search by using the notes? I think that's referring to if I type something in my notes, can I search that keyword in the diary? And yes, you can. Yeah. Just going through some other things here. When can I expect to see land events into the FarmIQ app? Yes, so obviously there was no land events in that immediate list there, but just be known that it is of priority to us. We look at what's recorded in the Classic app, what's the highest usage in there, and then that's what we want to get ticked off first before that Classic app is shut down. If you have any other questions, folks, just keep typing away in there. Have we got anything else there, Libby, at all?
Look. Oh, another one that Aaron has answered, but I can't really see it properly, is just on the taking photos of like your drench and chemical containers, so that it automatically enters in. Aaron has said, oh, sorry, it's just a bit hard for me to scroll and see it at the same time. We have developed the proof of concept. Oh, I don't know if I can see that. Oh yeah, we've developed the proof of concept for this and are working on inventory. It keeps disappearing on me. Can you see it, Russell, in the chat?
No, I can't. If you have any more questions, folks, just pop them in the chat now.
Can you hear me, Russell?
Yes, I can, Aaron.
So I can probably answer that. So we have developed a proof of concept for the inventory and taking a photo of a product and having it recognized via the AI. So this will identify the product, the withholding periods, the batch numbers, as much as it can. So that is part of the design, and we're looking and going to be planning on doing that work in this upcoming season. So the season we're in now is summer, and so I would expect that to sort of be released before March, including the AI recognition.
Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Alrighty. Well, I don't think we have any other questions coming on through here. So if you do have any other questions, please type them in. But I will move on here to, oh, what have you got there? Is that you sharing, Aaron?
That's not on it. Might have been the answers for what people want to see the most.
Right. Well, shall we move on to the poll then? So moving on there, we'll go through the answers that I can see. There's someone here for drafting. Yep, drafting. There's some here for inventory. And there's also one here, which is a longer one, to be able to click on the individual mobs in each paddock to view what paddocks that mob has been in and in what order. This will let shepherds quickly see the mob rotation as they're out in the paddock. Fantastic. I love that. I agree. That would be lovely. As always, we have to fit everything into the product roadmap, but we are looking at how FarmIQ can help with pasture management and also worm management tied into that, which is a lofty goal to have, but it's something that's been actively being worked on in the background. We've got another one here, drafting and land activities. Thank you for that. Okay, I'll just do one final check of the questions.
Oh yeah, I've got one here. So how much info can the fuel report pull once you start using it? Can we identify fuel used for each vehicle? Aaron, are you able to answer that for us?
Yeah, so as you record the fuel using the app, you are putting it against an asset. And so if you go into the assets section, you will be able to actually see all the fuel that's been used on a particular vehicle over time. So it is broken down that way. If you go to the tank, you can then also see the fuel going in and out.
Great. Thank you, Aaron. Alrighty. Well,
there's a couple of questions there that we didn't discuss. Or there's one that was a suggestion of using a point on, it came from Anders, of using the photo and using the metadata in the photo to apply a point on the map. Yeah, it's something we've discussed internally previously. Not sure whether it came from a suggestion or was something that one of the developers thought. So yeah, I'll include that in the discussion when we're doing the dropping the pin, because we were going to do a draw a pin or use my current location. And so yeah, we should be able to use metadata from the photo as well. So really good suggestion. Thanks, Anders. And there's one I haven't answered yet, which is from Greg. What's the ability to analyze RFID data at individual and mob level, e.g. sequential body condition scores and scan data in use? So we did develop a custom report, which you'll see in the report center, which works on RFID. So you can go into there and select any, either by mob or by animal type or either that, and it'll bring up all the RFIDs. In there, you can then apply which columns or which data sets you want to look at. So you could pick body condition score and for different periods. And you can actually apply a whole lot of rules, very similar to you do in Excel, to say whether or not you were just looking for animals, for example, that scanned as a single and had a low body condition score, and you set an upper limit on that. So you can put your sort of any rule you want to in there, and it will filter that data out and give you just the animals that you sort of want to target, which are often the animals that you're looking to retire. So, but yeah, if you're keen to actually have a look at some of that, give support a call, and yeah, we'll work our way through showing you how that can help you out in the farm.
Awesome. Thank you, Aaron.
Cool. And sorry, just one more question that I found. So I'll just read it out. So our team tried to record a team meeting recently, and when trying to select the staff and contractors present, it was difficult to scroll down within the staff box because there were so many there. The only workaround is the down key. Previously, you could scroll within this box. This could be a similar issue within boxes that have a lot of options. I think, yeah, the down key is quite handy because it selects the right person to move across, but not sure if there was any other word on that, Aaron.
I'm just in the office, so trying to keep my noise down. But yeah, it's not something I'm aware of, and it's definitely an unintended result if it's something we've done in the updating of the FarmIQ system. So I'll have a look at that one and get a dev to give it a test, and we'll fix it. So but yeah, it's a good, if you do find things that are frustrating like that, even if you just drop it into the chat online. So if you go to FarmIQ website, you'll see the chat bot comes up, and you can actually talk to one of the staff members in support. Even if you drop it in there, it'll get marked as something that we can investigate, and things like that are usually something that's an unintended consequence of an update, and we can fix very quickly. So yeah, this is definitely appreciated if you can let us know if you are finding things like that around and get them fixed for you ASAP.
Alrighty, guys, we'll wrap it up there. This has been a big quarter for FarmIQ. As you can see, we've made some pretty big strides here. And I'm excited for where it's going, particularly when it comes to structured data and unstructured data. Like with these options now, adding a note out in the paddock, the ability in the future to just drop a pin. FarmIQ has the option to be a lot more free text in the future. In terms of also getting the data out, just searching by the keyword and exporting it as a PDF. It's the way things are moving. And also with AI coming in now, it means far less manual data input, but you could also still have the benefit of having that structured data that our competitors don't have. So we're very, very fizzed about where FarmIQ is going in 2025. And for all of you that are FarmIQ subscribers, we're very grateful for you guys to be part of the journey. But Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And Libby and Aaron, thank you for your assistance today. Take care, folks.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good afternoon.